Hi everybody, this is Jasmine coming to you with another video with the Notch Higher Living YouTube channel. I am going to review another book with you. The purpose of the channel is to create an environment or space where healthy relationship skills can be learned, developed, where they can practice and they can thrive. The way that I do it is I review a book that has been of impact to me in relationship skills development, and I share them with you. This isn't to say that reading one book or reading a book will change your entire life, where you read the book once and everything changes, but it is to say that if you apply what you read, as I'm applying what I'm reading, I am seeing different changes in my life, and I'm believing and I'm expecting and I'm planning over time for there to be a change and for there to be a growth that can be visibly seen by me and by others. So the book that we have today is called The Emotionally Healthy Woman. I selected this book because this is a book that my book club we went through a year or so ago, and when I thought about the channel and I thought about healthy relationship skills, it says The Emotional Healthy Woman, but this book can benefit both men and women. So we want to go through this book today. So let's get into it. Usually I have placed 3 points, but what I'm going to do differently today is actually provide you with the chapter titles, because honestly that's point enough. So if you were to get the book, and I'll just read through the title chapters and what I've been able to glean from it, and when I look back over it again, this actually is one of the books that is going to be one of my yearly or annual reads, because similar to the Bible in this regard, you can't read something this once and expect to have it. It's one of those things that you want to go back to. So there are 8 chapters in this book. So the first point that I want to make in the first chapter, it's called Quit Being Afraid of What Others Think. And I'll go through that again. So The Emotional Healthy Woman, it's 8 things you have to quit to change your life. So chapter 1 is quit being afraid of what others think. Honestly, this is the catalyst to opening up your eyes, open up my eyes to read this book, because how many times I thought about, and when I thought about how many times I have been so afraid of what other people think, even with making this channel, I'll be honest with you, like, no makeup today, no extra. My hair is looking pretty interesting, but I said, Jasmine, you're reading the Emotional Healthy book. Not that I don't want to do and be my best for others, but I'm okay with how I look today, and if somebody talks about me, it'll be okay. Quit thinking about that. Give them the content. It's about the content. It's not about you. It's not about, well, when I say this, it's not so much about me that I don't provide the content that could possibly help someone. So whether I feel like it or not, and I still attend to my feelings, that's not the biggest concern right now. I'm okay with it. So if I'm so aware and so alarmed of what somebody will think, I can be so concerned with many things that are not important, where the most important thing is that you're actually receiving this content. So that's what I'm going to give to you today. So the first chapter and the first point to change your life is quit being afraid of what others think. And then the second chapter, point number 2, this one is a big one. It says to quit lying. And for those who would say like, oh, that's not me, I don't lie, first it's thinking like, I know you're not supposed to lie, so I would say, yeah, I'm not lying. But let's get digging deeper into what lying can be. It's saying yes when you mean no. Okay, saying yes when I mean no. It could be saying no when I mean yes. It could be saying, how are you, Jazz? I'm fine. Or what's going on? Oh, nothing's going on. And I'm emotionally in an upheaval because of something that we have or have not discussed, and I'm pushing down or muting my feelings. So when I'm lying, it's not necessarily saying like, oh no, I didn't do that, or oh no, I didn't say that. Sometimes lying is not being forthright and being honest, one, with myself, so that I can be honest with someone else to say that, you know what, when you said that, it really hurt my feelings. As opposed to shutting down, avoiding, being manipulative, doing infighting, causing so much drama behind our relationships and my relationships with other people. Stonewalling people. Stonewalling means shutting down, being quiet, not talking to people, cutting people off, having this cancel culture of, you know what, I'm done with you. Rather than saying, you know, this is hard for me to even put into words and articulate because I'm not accustomed to sharing my feelings with people. But when you did what you did, it made me feel so small and it hurt my feelings. And I didn't know what to do. As opposed to lying and saying, oh, I'm good. I don't need that person. I don't need this person. I'm good. So number 2 is quit lying. So I'm going to stop saying that too. Number 3, quit dying to the wrong things. Now this one is a major one for me, and I hope this resonates with you. When I first read it, when it says quit dying to the wrong things, it means quit dying to the things that bring you life, that bring a smile to your face, that bring enjoyment into your life. A lot of times, some people, they're in relationships. You're a mother, you're a wife, you're a pastor, you're a leader, you're an executive, you're so many things to other people. You and we attend to everyone else's needs, and we have this martyrdom complex, I believe, as women, where we feel that, you know what, as long as we take care of that person or this situation or my team, or as long as I take care of my children, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And we're dying to the things that we like and love. And one thing that I understand about when I die to the wrong things, I'm dying to what makes me alive. So when I need to show up for somebody else, I'm not really there. I'm halfway there, or I'm not there at all. I'm not fully present. So when I'm dying to the wrong things, like, I'll be honest with you, I really like to read books. I really enjoy it. And it's been my sister friend who allowed me the opportunity to start a book club with me. And we have a book club. We began, I want to say it's 2020. We started either 2000 and I believe it was 2018. But what I did was show up in who I was. And she would say to you that she's not the biggest reader, but because it was something that was important to me, she was willing, and she has been willing to read. And I appreciate her. Thank you very, very much, friend. And what I had to learn how to do was not mute my feelings and pretend. And I'm not talking about this type of not dying to your own feeling. This is who I am. If you don't like it, and none of that. I mean, that's a little extra. That's a lot extra, because when I know what I like and when I know what I love, I don't have to let you lose for me to win. And that's one thing that this book is really helpful in seeing, that it's not a win-lose situation. It can be a win-win-win, and that win-win is me knowing what I want, me respecting what you want, and then the relationship, we can win. We may not always agree. We may not always see eye to eye. However, what we can do is we can honor each other, and we can stay in the same relationship with differences. And a lot of people, we really, truly don't know how to do that. So that's number 3. And then number 4, going right into that helps you get ready for quit denying anger, sadness, and fear. Now, let me tell you one thing. When I got to this chapter, and when I even still think about this chapter, it really is in the space of creating healthy relationship skills, because simply we can almost flip everything that I've said so far. When I deny my anger, I deny my joy. When I deny my sadness, I deny my excitement. And when I deny my fear, I deny adventure. Because what I'm doing is muting and, again, suppressing all of these emotions that are real emotions. For those who have a Christian faith, there is a verse, or there's a scripture that says, do not be angry and sin not. And a lot of people take that as don't be angry. Or, excuse me, it says to be angry and sin not. And a lot of people have taken that scripture as don't be angry. But it clearly says, be angry, but don't sin. Meaning, be angry, acknowledge what the emotion of anger is in your life, but don't do something crazy. And that's the Jasmine version of it. Don't do something that will be hurtful or harmful to you or others. And when I break it down and when I understand it that way, I can see that, you know what, I can acknowledge the emotion of anger. I can acknowledge the emotion of sadness, and I can acknowledge the emotion of fear, but I don't have to pop off at the mouth. I don't have to emotionally vomit on you. I don't have to make myself appear and look better than I am so that I can make you feel lower and worse than you are. In my mind, making you feel bad so that I can feel good. It still can be a win-win-win situation. And I'll be honest with you, again, when I was thinking about this book, I had to come from a place of really what it meant to me, because so long in my life I have denied anger, sadness, and fear. And right now in my life, I'm in this place where I'm acknowledging the dark, sad places, the disappointments, the relationship failures, and the relationship woes, dynamics that are honestly overwhelming for me. And for the most part, I would have typically said, get past that. You can do better. Go forward. Go past. Feel better. And almost rah-rah, shish kumbah, make it feel better. But one thing I am starting to see in this interesting place is that when I'm acknowledging how I'm feeling, and when I acknowledge the real true feeling of what's going on inside of me, that's when it's almost like an assessment. When I know where I am, I can really decide where I want to go. But when and I'm not sure if you've ever done this, you can let me know in the comments, or just think about it for yourself. When I've denied that I'm angry, I haven't asked why I'm angry. Certain things have triggered me. I've had a recent situation where I was angry because someone said that they were going to do something and they didn't follow up with what they said that they were going to do. And then what they did was not take responsibility. And for me, not taking responsibility is like, you know what, I can understand if things happen. But for you to tell me you didn't do it because you just gave me some excuses, that angers me, because honestly, tell me the truth. It goes back to what? Quit lying. So don't lie. Please don't lie. Please tell me the truth. But I had to acknowledge that's what made me angry, because I was really dismissed. Because when I've been told something and I'm expecting you to do something as a person, I'm expecting you to do it. So instead of me denying that anger, I realized what it was. And instead of me going into the anger and going off on somebody else, which sometimes I still have to, and we still have to address people, but I was able to address it from a place of, you know what, I've seen a pattern here. This situation for this person is not going to change, so what do I need to do? I ended up taking on the responsibility of handling what needed to be handled, but I could say to myself, okay, the next time this person does something like this, my expectation level is going to be more realistic. And you see, for me, that helped out a lot, because I didn't stew in anger, and even getting what needed to be done, I wasn't in a place of just frustration, turmoil, and just like, I don't believe this, like internally just ruminating and internally just boiling. It was just like, oh, okay, now I know, and I could adjust, which was totally different if I would have pretended like it doesn't matter. And for me, I know now what happens in my emotions is that I have this all in between here, like it feels like everything is tight and I can't even function properly. And when I say function properly, it's like my throat gets tight and I just kind of shut down. So like as I examined and processed it out, it was so helpful, because it was just like, okay, wait, what do you need to do? I acknowledged my anger and I acknowledged where it was connected to, and I was able to get things done. And what I did was take care of Jasmine, meaning I didn't allow my feelings to shut me down, and I didn't allow all of that stewing of toxic emotions, of the toxic emotions to implode and stay inside of me. I let it out. I did a walk. I took a little break. I came back to where I needed to come, and I got the work done. So quit denying anger, sadness, and fear. Number 5, quit blaming. I'm not going to say anything to anybody else, but it's not my mom, it's not my dad, it's not my family dynamics, it's not all of those things that stop me currently from where I am. It's not my boss, it's not even sexism, racism, colorism. It's not all of, I just saw a moth, I'm outside. It's not all these things. However, these things may have an impact on me, but I'm not going to blame and put all the responsibility on me moving forward. The person or the situation, I'll say it this way, racism is real. It's truly real. What I cannot do is blame me not moving forward simply because of racism. But even with the book, what I won't be afraid to do is to deny, or what I won't be afraid to do is to acknowledge my anger, my sadness, and my fear around it. Because when I do that, I can say like, okay, this racism thing, I don't really think it's going to go away tomorrow because it's been here for centuries. But what I can do is say like, okay, I can't blame everybody for what I can do now. And it's a dance here because I'm using racism, and that's a big topic, or that's a big one to deal with. But going down from racism and everything in between, if I don't blame my forefathers or our forefathers as a nation of, well, they should have set it up this way or they did it this way, I can say, okay, they didn't set it up this way. What do I know today that could help me change the trajectory of tomorrow? What do I need to take responsibility internally so that I won't allow what they did yesterday to impact my today and tomorrow? And that's me no longer blaming. Because if I deny the truth that what they did, it did impact me, that's going back into lying. It would be a flat out lie if I said like, oh, you know what, the past is the past. And some people use, again, if you're a person of faith, they use that old things are past.